I'm super excited for this masterclass, and I'll share a little bit more about this. I used to have really bad social anxiety. Like a lot of people don't know this about me to the point where I would be sweating profusely. And if you've ever experienced social anxiety or just awkwardness in general, that feeling when you're in your head and you're wondering why everyone else seems like they're so comfortable and they know what to say and it seems so easy for them. And I was just that person kind of watching from behind my eyes, being like, I don't even know what to talk about. Like, I don't even feel intelligent. I don't feel smart. And I don't feel like, I don't feel like I have anything to say. And it would make me so uncomfortable. I would sweat. But that is part of the reason why I'm so excited to be sharing this information with you today, because body language, face reading, understanding people and humans, it's changed my entire life because it's not just about getting more of what you want. Obviously, yes, you can use it for sales, you can use it for dating, you can use it to influence others, you can use it to influence your own subconscious. But really, what it's about is it's about being human. There's this human part of us that we can't escape, nor do we want to. We can only embrace it. And the more you try to remove yourself from it and even manage your own body language and try to be somebody that you're not, and all of these different things, it creates this duality and this disconnect inside of you that then seeps out into your body language. So, anyways, this is all prep stuff. This is all just off the top of my head. I'm going to share with you actual secrets. I have 4 secrets planned for you today where we're going to be able to apply it to dating, to sales, to intimacy, to self-awareness, for deeper connections, all of that. And then at the end, I'm going to explain to you how you can actually practice this, how you can embody it, how you can get out of your own head so that this actually works for you and it doesn't just land as like, okay, cool. Now you know how the brain works and what the fuck are you going to do with that information? Has to be applicable. For the main teaching part, I am not going to use slides. I want you to be able to see the full me, the full expressions, the full all of that. Just for the beginning and just for the end, I'm going to have slides so that I don't go on too many tangents and take up too much of your time. So with that said, let's get started. This is the face reading and body language masterclass intro before we get into the good stuff. There's things about body language. There's things about being confident, about dating, about feeling awkward as fuck, wanting to make more money, misreading people. Maybe humans fascinate you. Maybe you are obsessed with self-development. You want to make more sales, all of these things. There's so many teachings that you can find all over the internet about all of these things that you might want to create more of in your life. But what I'm going to share with you today is what no one else is talking about because nobody else knows it. Everyone else is kind of speaking around the same things in circles. But the key is actually to understand the body, to understand how the body relates to the subconscious and how you can use that to up-level every single part of your life. All right, I have 3 goals for you today. If you are a beginner to this information, you will get insights on how to improve every aspect of your life. If you are a more experienced person, let's say you know about the subconscious mind, you know about body language, you'll get the details that you really crave. And then obviously, number 3 is that we're going to have lots of fun, because if we're not having fun, what the fuck are we doing? So by the end of this masterclass, you will see how body language is the missing piece in all self-development information, dating propaganda out there, sales courses, and partnership work. And we will start technical. The first couple secrets are going to be so that you can really understand what's happening beneath the surface. I told you I was going to peel back the veil of human behavior so that you can see what's underneath it. And then, of course, we'll end up at sex, because what else do you expect from me? I love talking about sex, and it's very applicable. Speaking of body, speaking of the subconscious, of primal drives and all of that. So we'll start technical, we'll end up at sex. And I know a lot of you already know quite a bit about me, but I do want to share with you, how did I end up getting so proficient in this stuff? And when I say proficient in this stuff, I mean that it's a very common experience for me, if I so choose to go there, where I can meet somebody and within 30 seconds, I kid you not, this has happened many, many times, 30 seconds of speaking to them, looking at them, watching them, and I barely say anything, I can get so deep into their subconscious that they're crying by the end of it. I've met people who I've done this process with, and in 30 seconds, they have said to me, I don't understand how you just basically solved my life problems that quickly. And I've been going to therapists for 10 years. I've been racking my brain around this for 10 years, for 5 years, for 3 years, for whatever. And you just basically nailed it. So, how did I end up getting so proficient in this stuff? So, a lot of people don't know this about me. I've actually been doing this type of work, not under the name of body language or hypnotherapy, but I've been doing this type of work since I was 14. So, when I was 14, I had a spiritual awakening, we could call it. I basically one night realized, oh, I know my life purpose. I know that my purpose is authenticity. I know that my purpose is to be my true self. And the realization that came through, and I actually wrote it down on a piece of paper. I still have it because I gave it to my mom. But the realization that I wrote down was that the body can create anything and the body can undo anything. And that the body is deeply connected to the mind. And that there's all of these connections between the body and the mind that people don't know about. And so because of this realization, I was so lit up about it that I actually started studying energy healing. In high school, I traveled around the US. I studied quantum energy healing. I studied Asian styles of energy healing. And then when I was 16, I started seeing clients on the weekends. I was doing the same thing that I was doing now, but through a different bodily sense. It was through more of like an intuitive sense. But because of what I learned, I would see clients, I would feel with my body into their energy field, and I would I could literally pick out where they were stuck, to the point where I could take my hand, and I don't know why I developed it this way, but I could take my hand and I could feel into their energy field, and I could say, hey, you have a distortion from when you were 4 years old, and it has to do with horses. And then, then the person would start crying because I was accurate basically 100% of the time. And we would heal that distortion so that that part of their neurology could get unstuck out of fight or flight and return back to truth, return back to confidence, return back to authenticity, return back to ease and to comfort. And this is really what happens with body language. Our body always, whether you realize it or not, is always searching for, is this experience, is this thought, is this person making me comfortable or uncomfortable? Is it expansive or is it contractive? And the body will react in a more honest and a more truthful way. So I've been doing this a long time. I continued throughout high school doing energy work. I then learned somatic body work. So then I got into massage and manipulation of the body to understand how trauma is actually stored in the fascia. I opened up a practice and I would work into people's fascia and have trauma release and all of that. And then I got married. A lot of you know that I had a baby, and then I had another baby, and then my ex-husband left the country. So I wasn't even working at that time, but he left the country. He left us when I was pregnant. We had no money. We had no running water. We had nowhere to live. I had like $80 in my bank account and $30,000 of debt, and debt collectors were calling. I mean, it was the whole thing. And there was a moment, and this is super important because if you've ever gone through anything tough, if you're going through something tough, there was a moment when I was going through that and I clicked into, oh, well, the frame, the meaning I can put on this could be something expansive. I can tap into that part of my brain and create something from it. And this is essentially why I do what I do today, because I had this vision of like, I want to teach. I want to be a presence for people to speak about what I realized when I was 14. So anyways, I started talking online, started doing different trainings and things like that, hypnotherapy. Eventually, I landed on body language and face reading, because of its ability to be able to see into the subconscious with more accuracy than I've ever witnessed before. Because words lie all day long, but the body will never lie. And that's the disconnect. So whether you're using this in sales, in dating, for self-awareness, for self-improvement, you can be very, very sure that for whatever anyone else is saying with their words, it might only go in on a cognitive level. But if you really want to make an impact, or you want to make change, you want to get better, You have to understand the things that I'm going to teach you today about the body. All right. So that is how I ended up getting so proficient. Now for the good stuff. The first secret that I'd like to share with you is that nobody can hide their body language, yourself included. You also cannot manage your own body language. Your body language exists as a intrinsic process inside of you from your limbic system. We're going to talk about that in the next secret, but from your limbic system, and it's constantly leaking information. You can't hide your body language entirely because the part of our brain that does manage our emotional responses isn't powerful enough. It's very new, it's very unique to humans, and it's not strong enough to be able to use willpower or volition to manage every single message that you are giving out. Your body language is always going to be leaking the truth of the emotional state that you are in. So this is true for you. This is true for when you're reading body language. You can apply it both ways. But it's connected to the stress response that many of you are familiar with, this stress response being the fight or flight response. However, here's what nobody's telling you about the fight or flight response, is that it's not just that. We've heard of freeze as well. But in fact, the way that people explain it, they have it all fucked up and out of order. It's actually freeze that comes first. This is all survival stuff. This is all like, if there's a big motherfucking tiger chasing you, you're going to be stressed out. You're going to go through this process. You're going to freeze. If that doesn't work, then you're going to try to run. That's the flight. That doesn't work. The last resort, the last resort is fighting. Okay, this is true for every human. We freeze. So when we're in any type of uncomfortable situation in life, and this could even be a thought, this could be something that you see that has almost no significance, but it triggers a thought, and you have an emotional response to that thought, or someone that you're talking to in sales and in dating mentions something, it creates an internal state or a thought, you're going to start that process. Freeze, flight, or fight. And it's going to go in that order. So when reading other people's body language, this is what we're looking for. And we can see quite clearly, I'll give you some examples, into where people are at on their timeline in terms of time distortion. And let me explain that. That might have been a little confusing. The conscious mind, the part of ourselves that we're aware of, exists in linear time. We can track things. That happened. I was a baby once. I had trauma as a kid, but then I grew up and now I'm okay. And da. That's all bullshit to your subconscious. Your subconscious exists in parallel time. If you had trauma when you were a child, which most of us have had trauma as a child, to whatever degree that was for you, and you haven't cleared it in your body, then that is existing in your subconscious. You're leaking body language as if that thing is happening right now. And so when we're watching for body language, when we're assessing our own body language, we're looking for, what am I speaking about? What's triggering me into a time distortion where I'm stuck in that fight or flight response from the past? And then you want to heal that. I'm going to share with you how to do that a little bit later in the masterclass today. But I do want to drop this in here because this is wildly important. Understanding that process is key to releasing depression. Depression is a process. It's a process that your body is running. Your body, because it loves you, because it is hyper obsessed with your survival, will never do anything against you, including depression. Depression sets in when freeze, that didn't work to get me away from this threat. Flight, running, that didn't work to get me away from a threat. Fighting, fuck. The anger, the aggression, that didn't work to get me away from a threat. Then the body goes, okay, so let me take all of my resources, my joy, my passions, my pleasures, and go, whoop. Let me kind of box up everything. And let me take my dopamine and my oxytocin, my serotonin, all these biochemicals and bring it into a little box for self-preservation, because I can't get what I want. I can't do what I want. It's a very oversimplified way of explaining it. I wanted to drop that into your awareness. So when you're watching people, you're going to notice some things when it trips up their amygdala. The amygdala is one of the main structures in the emotional body. If somebody gets jolted into a freeze response, they're going to hold their breath. They might stop blinking, right? You're looking for a deviation from normal. Their arms, if they have a lot of gestures and they go, if you've ever looked at a child that's being yelled at, freeze. They're trying to escape stress. It doesn't work when someone is yelling at you, but in the wild, and this is what we always have to come back to, because the limbic system, this part of your body that is leaking body language, is connected to the part of you that used to live in tribes out in Africa in the wild. If a big tiger, a big lion is running past you, you freeze. You don't want to be detected. You hold your breath. You don't move. This is survival. We do the same thing in emotional stressors as well. Now, the flight, you'll notice this when you're reading body language because it's hiding. So our limbic system is still responding to things. It's not running because that's not socially appropriate. And the prefrontal cortex, this very human part of our brain, like a little computer program, has typed into our programming, don't run away from people as an adult because they'll think you're fucking weird. You know what I mean? Don't punch people out of nowhere because that's not socially appropriate. So we have all of these kind of programs of how that are dialed in, how to manage this freeze, flight, or fight response, but you can see it all the time in people. So the flighting will be like people like this, hiding, blocking. They're trying to distance. It's any kind of distancing behaviors. And then fighting is aggression, usually comes through in argument. Maybe their tone changes a little bit. I think that one's probably a little bit more obvious. So why is all this important? This is important because in sales, in dating, especially in the beginning stages of dating, when you notice those behaviors, pause. Don't keep going. Don't keep talking. Don't keep regurgitating the same thing. You have to stop and go a different pathway, because human beings only make decisions to get away from certain feelings or to get closer to certain feelings. If you are generating uncomfortable feelings in them because you can't read their body language effectively, you can't read what's coming off of them effectively, then they're going to decide to distance themselves from you in some capacity, and has nothing maybe to do with you. But when we know this information, we can use it to connect deeply with other people. How does this relate to intimacy, to relationships? It's kind of like the opposite side of the spectrum. You can actually speak that. You can be like, hey, I noticed maybe that made you uncomfortable. I'm a safe place for you. I'm available to hold space for you right now. If you are available, don't say it if you're not available to hold space. This information gives you agency, gives you free will, it gives you autonomy to be able to be who you want in the world, to have the relationships that you want, to be able to make other people feel really good. I mean, that's really what this is about. We'll get to that in secret number 4. So anyways, your limbic system doesn't shut off. This thing that we have going here, it doesn't shut off. The next thing you want to look for, because nobody can hide their body language, secret number 1, nobody can hide their body language, is that when somebody has a stress response, the body loves you. The body loves you. Your body loves you so unconditionally, you have no fucking idea, that it's then going to try to make you feel better. If you have a stress response, your body is going to comfort you. Your body is going to give you a hug. And you can't hide it, and it will come through in your body language. And this is what's called a pacifying behavior. Pacifiers always reveal the truth about someone's internal state. It's the behavior that brings you back to homeostasis. When you see a pacifier in sales, you're making a sale, you're talking about the thing, and you see a pacifier, stop. Whatever you just said made the person stressed out to some capacity. They probably don't realize it, requiring them to pacify themselves. The more you put them into stress, the more that they're going to want to distance themselves from you. So pacifiers, pacifying behaviors, are anything that's soothing. Generally, when people touch their face, When people touch their neck, you'll see a lot of people do this with their nose. That's a pacifier. When people whistle. Here's a big one that I know a lot of people struggle with because I struggle with it as well. And this might change your life, this one thing, if you struggle with this. Overeating. You ever find yourself at the end of the motherfucking day and you're like in the pantry snacking? You're like, what am I doing? I don't want to be snacking. Pacifier. I have an entire course on this that I used to run live trainings for all the time. But the one question that's going to change your life with that is before you eat that thing, not to try to stop yourself because you love yourself and you want to work with your body, but to ask yourself, if I weren't to eat this thing right now, if I weren't to pacify myself right now, what uncomfortable feeling would I be left with? That's the root. That's like the root of your need to eat. Willpower is never going to change that pattern. Same with addiction. Willpower is never going to change that. You have to get to the root and you have to heal the root so that your limbic system, your body and your brain, your ego, what you want can work in harmony and work together. So I'll leave that there. That's helpful for anyone. But anyway, so pacifiers, eating, whistling, releasing heat. A lot of times like this. We also see this in attraction though, right? When people are turned on, we get, it activates our limbic system in a similar way to being stressed. However, it's a positive stress. And you might try to cool off a little bit. At work, men with ties, when they do this, when they try to release a little bit of heat, touching of the hair, playing with the hair, these are all pacifiers. Taking your hands on you can't see my thighs, but kind of rubbing your thighs, going like this. These are all pacifying behaviors. And to make this applicable, all you have to notice for now is when somebody is soothing themselves. When you notice somebody soothing themselves, just stop. Okay? Just stop whatever you're doing, change gears, or just go to listening. Just go to absorbing. Okay? So that is secret number 1. Nobody can hide their body language. All right. Secret number 2 for reading people's body language. Secret number 3 is going to be about face reading, but secret number 2 is that body language is far, far more accurate than words. Words are generated in that human part of our brain, and the body language is generated in the animal part of our brain. The animal part of your brain was there first. It's older. It's more obsessed with your survival, and survival wins out every single time. So the body is always going to reveal the subconscious, and your subconscious rules all. Your subconscious is responsible for approximately 95% of every motherfucking thing you do on a daily basis. Why you make decisions is because of your subconscious. People like to tell me, and other people, I'm very logical. I'm a man. I'm very logical. No, you're not. Okay. Some people, and we'll talk about this in face reading, some people have more access to their logic, but nobody is a logical creature. You're not a motherfucking robot. Okay. Nobody is a motherfucking robot. So we're emotional creatures. We are guided by our emotions. And then we have a human part of us that kind of has like programmed in rules about when it's safe to express certain emotions and how we can express them that keeps us in the tribe and keeps us being liked and all of that. But we're constantly trying to repress our limbic system responses. What happens when people punch a wall because they're angry? It's because that feeling inside of them of aggression as a last resort to try to remember the aggression is the last resort reaches a certain threshold. As soon as it goes ding, your conscious mind is out. This is what happens in addiction. Oh, I don't want to do drugs. Of course you don't want to do drugs. But what happens when that threshold goes boop? You're out. So a lot of practice can be around increasing your threshold so that you can be aware and autonomous of like, holy shit, I'm having this massive limbic system response and stress to this and this and this, but I can stay conscious during it. That's why the shadow work, the emotional work, the integration work is vital when you want to improve your body language, when you want to improve your sales, your dating, when you want to connect with others deeply. Otherwise, there's going to be an animal part of you that's a monkey that takes over, throws bananas at people. Okay. Maybe even literally, who knows? I don't know. I've never thrown a banana at somebody. All right. So your limbic system, your subconscious mind has 2 different states, expansiveness and contraction. That's it. It's pretty binary. It's pretty black and white. Another way of explaining this is your limbic system has 2 different states, comfort, that's expansion, That's real confidence. I just posted a video about this on TikTok. True confidence can only happen when you are in a limbic system state of comfort. You cannot fake it until you make it in a state of stress with confidence. If you are uncomfortable in your body, that is not true confidence, and you can't manage your body language to prove anyone otherwise. And people that are aware and attuned will pick up on it, whether they realize it or not. A lot of times we don't realize it. But those are two different states. So when we want to connect with others, when we want to make that sale, when we want to have a really good date that goes well, you must be in a state of comfort. You can't bullshit that from yourself. That's just what it is. You must be in a state of comfort. When you're in a state of comfort, that's called rapport with another person. And what you'll notice when you're in rapport with another person is that you guys will start mirroring each other. And I've talked about this in some of my other content where it's like, if you want to, you can use this backwards too. You want to build rapport with someone really quickly, mirror them. Mirror their words. If they say something like, oh yeah, I really love yoga. It makes my body feel really good. Don't say, oh yeah, yoga's great. I love it too. That's not mirroring. That's randomly agreeing. Maybe you do love yoga, but you can say, oh yeah, you love yoga. It makes your body feel really good. Tell me more. That's mirroring. I use the same sequence of words. You can mirror through language, which is pretty powerful. But remember, that's like the dumbest part of our brain, for lack of better words. If you want to mirror someone powerfully, if you want to use this technique of building rapport and comfort backwards, mirror their body language. Mirror their breath. How deeply are they breathing? Like, it sounds kind of manipulative and fucked up, but we can use this to make sales. And if you are a person of integrity, which I'm assuming all of you are, and you're selling something cool that you believe in to whatever degree, and you want that person to have this thing. You believe that it's going to change their life. If you're a great person and you're struggling with dating, we don't call this manipulation. We call this deep connection. When you're with a partner and you want to feel more connected with them, you can practice mirroring. It's really beautiful. I mean, there's even just in the sexual realm, there's practices where you mirror, where you face your partner and you mirror them purposefully, right? So in the realm of intimacy, this can be something that you both agree on. It doesn't have to be manipulative. And I hate that word manipulation because everyone's manipulating everyone all the time because we're a tribal species. So topic for another day. But anyways, when you're in comfort, when you're building rapport, when you're mirroring their body language, it produces oxytocin. Oxytocin is needed in dating, for successful dating. Oxytocin, we often think of this as like, breastfeeding a child. It produces oxytocin. It's bonding, massively bonding. It's also needed in sales. It's also needed with your employees. If you're a boss, or if you have a boss, or you work with people and you want cooperation and team effort, if there's no realm of oxytocin bond, there's going to be a lack of cooperation. If you're on a date and there's no oxytocin because you're jumping out of your body and you're going into your head and you're not comfortable and you're leaking information that you're not confident, that's not hot. Women want to, I'm not often talking to men, but, because I'm a woman, women want to feel sexy. We feel sexy when you feel sexy. Okay. What you want to look for, you want to build upon the signs that you see when someone is comfortable. When you say something and you notice a relaxing, when you notice their body language is open, when they're not hiding the vulnerable parts of their body. Remember, it all comes back to big cats. I mean, no one's going to go like this. I used to have a lover that he would watch my content. And I guess I used to talk about wrists a lot, because exposing your wrists is a sign that you are comfortable. Because if I'm going to be exposing my wrist and have open body language when I'm with you, I'm not worried you're going to kill me, And our brains don't think like that, but our bodies think like that. And so anyways, anytime I saw him, he would be like, hi, here's my wrist. So we don't do that, and we don't look for that, obviously, but you can notice subtle things. If someone is like this and you're talking about something that makes them feel comfortable, and maybe you notice that their pupils dilate, they're taking in more of you, and their arm comes off, and they start using their gestures more, and their blink rate This is huge. Blink rate's an easy, easy, easy one to spot. Their blink rate slows down. Those are all signs of comfort. When you notice that, continue. When you see the pacifier, stop. When you see the comfort, you continue. You keep going down whatever pathway you're going on. And you want to drop that person. When you want someone to cooperate with you, when you want someone to make a decision that is in both of your favors, right? Because you're a person of integrity, they must do so from a place of comfort. I mean, I suppose you could use the other part of like, fearing them into it. That's a big motivator as well. But I'm talking about this integritous type of connecting with people. When people are in comfort, they're going to agree with you. And another way to use that mirroring, because words lie, the body doesn't lie. Another way to use that mirroring is to test it. So if you think somebody's in rapport with you and you're going to close, you're going to invite her back to your house for some fun, you're going to close a sale, you can shift in your seat. You can shift your body and watch them. Are they shifting as well? So easy. If you're in rapport, that person will shift as well. One of the easiest ways is the eyebrow flash. So I just did it right there. All primates do this. It's a signal of rapport, because when two primates, people, meet each other, but monkeys too, when two people meet each other, their body is like, okay, cool. Is this a friend? Can I fuck it? Can I make a baby with this? Or should I run from it? Is it going to try to eat me? If there's rapport and connection instantly, and it happens in a second, there'll be an eyebrow flash. So you can actually start leading the conversation in sales by eyebrow flashing and see if they do it back. If they do it back, their brain goes, okay, I'm following this person. And then you shift a little bit later. You talk about something that they really like. You evoke, you speak about something that allows them to evoke an emotional response that feels good to them. And then you shift again. Watch if they shift. So now you're teaching them in a conversation how to follow you. This is the tip of the iceberg, by the way. I know I'm rambling on and on about this one thing. This is the tip of the iceberg, but this is like just some of the application of how you can use this. All right. That is that. That is number 2. The body never lies. It's more accurate than words. And now we have number 3. This is where we're going to get into a little bit of face reading. Secret number 3 is that the structures and lines, wrinkles on your face reveal truth about someone's personality. Oftentimes, the wrinkles try to hide what somebody is trying to conceal about their personality. And here's what's really important. In dating and sales, not so much in intimacy, you want to speak to the mask. What do I mean by that? You'll know all this information because you've trained with me now. You'll be able to see beyond the mask. Don't speak to the person beyond the mask. And I've tested this way too many times. It doesn't work. It makes people feel exposed. Don't call people out on it. I still call people out on it. And then every time I do it, I have to kick myself. And I'm like, what did I do that for? Made this person feel uncomfortable. And now they want nothing to do with me. Literally, it makes people feel way too exposed. So you notice it. You notice, hey, that's the person behind the mask. I just noticed that pacifier. This is what they're really feeling. But don't necessarily call it out. There's a particular way to call it out that can keep their nervous system in a state of comfort. So you always want to speak to the mask, not the person behind the mask. Again, unless you are in an intimate relationship and that's decided upon. Okay, so here are some of the things on the face that I look for when I first meet people. You can use this in any way that you want. I'll just go through some things. There's so much about the face, but I'm going to go through some of the main ones. The lines that you see here, that they're vertical in between somebody's eyebrows. These are signs of impatience. Okay, let me say this. I forgot. This is really, really important. There are no face reading traits that are bad. Okay, so if you're like, oh, fuck, Kate's talking about this thing and I have that line, it's not bad. I have lines, okay? It's all good. This is just for awareness. All right, lines like this, liver lines, correlates to the liver. The liver is anger. There might be some repressed anger. There might be some repressed emotion. If you see one big line like this, this is called a suspending needle. This is deeply repressed anger. Again, this isn't bad. I've dated somebody that I loved very much that had this line. It's not a bad thing, but it is something to be aware of, because in that stress response, the aggression portion is going to be repressed, meaning that they're going to have a threshold for it. And occasionally it's going to come out like fire. And if it doesn't come out like fire, then it manifests as depression. And it's going to be one of those two things. If you see 3 lines, usually that's somebody that's actually dealt with their anger quite a bit. But I do look for that. One of my best friends dated someone. She was like, hey, meet him, read his face. I met him. Well, he's fucking pissed. He's angry. He's not this. This is a very, very deeply angry person. Why did she break up with him? Because he was fucking mean when he got angry. It literally, like it sometimes is that clinical. Another thing to look for is indented temples. So here's your temples right here. They're like slightly indented. I'm not a good example of this. People with very, very, very indented temples, like you can see it on their face, like they might look like that, but mine aren't that indented. They have a desire for altered states of consciousness. Again, they might get that need met through meditation, through yoga, through a spiritual practice. They might not. You want to look for the color. If it's darker, if it has a darker indentation, ask some questions about how much they drink. Do they like to do drugs? Literally, ask it. And then watch their body language. Do you see how all this pieces together? Because if they say, oh, I don't like to do drugs that much, and then they pacify themselves after they said that, they've most likely just lied to you, went out of homeostasis, and then had to bring themselves back to homeostasis. I mean, this is powerful information. Some other things that I look for: the bony structures of someone's face, very, very pronounced chin, very, very stubborn person. It's a great trait to have. Just know, like in the dating realm, if someone has a very pronounced chin, that person's going to want to be dogmatic in their way. They're going to have a way, and they're going to like that way. Same with the cheekbones. That can be signs of being very opinionated. I have cheekbones. They're a little bit fleshy, so I can hide the fact that I'm opinionated. That's really what that means. But my cheekbones are quite pronounced. Brow bone. This is physicality. I have a modified brow bone. I wanted to enroll my son in jujitsu. I know nothing about jujitsu, but he doesn't have like a real stable father figure, right? Because of all the things and whatevers about my life that I already shared. And so I was like, I should really enroll him in jujitsu. I don't know anything about jujitsu, but I was at the grocery store, true story, and I saw someone and I go, oh my God. I mean, this guy, this brow bone out to here, like it was a brow bone. And I go, oh, he must know about jujitsu in this area. And so I approached him. I said, hey, I'm curious. You look like you might do jujitsu. He talked my ear off for 20 minutes about the Gracie brothers. I kid you not. He lit up. I was like, you must know about jujitsu. And he like leaned in, his eyes got big, his gestures got big. And then he gave me the best jujitsu place in town. This stuff really works. You can also look for disempowerment lines. These are lines that come from your inner campus right here. And they come diagonally down like this. This is important to look for. This is somebody that in the past, typically in childhood, has been kind of berated enough around who they are where they get a little bit disempowered. So this is a wound that they carry. It's just good to look out for. Grief lines, another important one, because that'll affect long-term health with the lungs. Sadness lines come here. Once they cross this lung channel, meridian channel, that would be grief line. So that would be repressed grief. In the dating realm, it might be useful to ask about it. How much are they harboring? How much is that going to seep through into your relationship? Here's another one. Auditory intuition lines, up and down lines right here next to the ear. These are generally people that have experienced trauma a lot in their childhood or in the past. And now they have an acute sense of auditory intuition to be able to walk into a room and read it effectively so that they can avoid bad situations. I want to ask that person about, their childhood, and then watch for body language stuff to see how much of their trauma have they dealt with. Have you been going to therapy? Good questions. Cleft chin. Typically, these are people pleasers. Typically, these are people that like to sway their truth in order to please the crowd, and then it can kind of bite them in the butt. And then I have one more thing about the face reading that's important for sales. When you're looking at someone's face, you want to split it into 3 categories. Here and here. We have the top portion, the middle portion, and the bottom portion. When you're making the sale, generally in face reading, people that make decisions, their last decision based on logic, will have a bigger upper portion relative to the other 2. People that make decisions based off of like, how is this going to benefit me in the long run? That's me. That's how I make decisions. Have a more pronounced middle section. And then people that have a more pronounced bottom section make decisions based off of emotional things. So you can notice that in the first 5 seconds of meeting someone in sales, and you can speak to that part of their face. And as you speak to that part, that part of their face, that part of their personality, and you watch their body language, does it produce comfort? Easy. All right. So I could not decide on three secrets. I have one more secret. And the last secret that I have for you, bonus secret number 4, is how to use all of this information. How do I do this, but not get in my head? So before I do that, I'm gonna do a share screen again here. I learned from the last time how to do this. I could not cover everything, like I said. So since I could not cover everything, I have created something for you. And if it's okay, I'm literally going to spend 5 minutes or under to go over an offer that I have created for you that I am super, super excited about so that you can implement these 3 secrets into your personal, professional life. Because like I said, this is the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot underneath this. And then I'll share with you bonus secret number 4, how to get out of your own head. That's the one that has to do with sex, because I always have to talk about sex. I'm fucking weird. Okay. The body language code. This is the thing that I have created for you. It's gonna be super fun. Harness the secrets of nonverbal behavior, enhance your presence, strengthen your communication for personal and professional success. This is going to be a course about not only self-awareness, not only how to come across in the presence of exactly who you want to be, but also how to really to a T read others. All right. Not even going to read all of this. It's on the page if you want to join, but you will be able to do all of these things. At this point, you can't do all of these things because this was just a quick hour masterclass where I'm giving you as much, literally as much as I can. But there are so many more elements about lying, increasing your confidence, feeling better about yourself in dating, being able to read people in dating so that you can avoid red flags. You can stop getting ghosted. You can know if someone is being just polite or being real, communicate better, how to handle sales objections before they say no, what words to put around it so that you keep people in that state of comfort. All of those things that we will be going over. So for years now, I've spent over $25,000 almost just on body language, face reading, and subconscious mind stuff alone. But this is like not including what I did in high school and all of that, and hundreds of hours to gain a comprehensive understanding of how to use body language to read others and enhance my own presence. I'm just going to give it to you, obviously not for $25,000, but I'm going to give it to you in the body language code. Sound good? So here's what you get. We have module number 1, the science of body language. This will all be live, by the way, for this time that I'm launching it. It'll be a live interactive group. Module number 2 will be decoding gestures. So basically everything. I've only named a very small fraction of the gestures that exist. We'll be going from the top of the head literally down to the toes. Yes, the toes can tell you about people if that person's wearing sandals. We're going to decode every single gesture so that you know how to use it in sales, in dating, for self-awareness, for all of that. We're going to go into body language secrets in module number 3. That's lies, sales, dating, all of that. And then module number 4 is the power of nonverbal communication. And that's where we talk about the confidence, how to frame things in a way that keep people in that comfort zone. And then you get these bonuses as well. So not only that, but when you enroll, you also get the expert face reading masterclass. This is going to be the doozy of face reading. We're going to talk about all the structures, all of the lines, what they mean, how to use that information to what the Chinese call to get on your golden path. That's true authenticity, to return to your original face. It's a beautiful concept in Chinese face reading, where you use this knowledge to actually let go of the things that are no longer serving you so that you can step into fully, deeply, and completely outside of just your conscious awareness, but all the way down to your core, who it is that you're meant to be. And then neuroconfidence masterclass. We're going to build unshakable confidence neurologically. No fake it till you make it. I don't bullshit people. This is the fucking real confidence. This is like the don't manage your body language because that's fucked up. How do you actually hardwire confidence into your body? All right. So the total value, we have $1,290. That's for everything that I'm giving you today. When you join, your price is $297. You can go to this link, shop Kate Colley products, the code. And then there's more. JK, I tricked you. It's not $297. But even if it was, wouldn't that be worth it? I'm actually going to give you a better deal. because I believe in this content so much. Wouldn't it be worth it if it was $297? And yet, your actual price with fireworks is $157. If you want this information, if you want access to the bonuses, if you want all of those bonuses, click that link, purchase the body language code, and then very shortly I will be sharing with you bonus number 4. So that is that. You've got 2 choices. I've already shown you how body language is the missing piece in self-development, dating, sales, intimacy. You've got 2 choices. You can do nothing. Totally fine. You don't have to purchase it, obviously. What will you get? If you do nothing, well, you'll get nothing. Again, that's your choice. The second choice, take the leap. Invest in yourself. It's $157. Take action now. Get access to those bonuses. Go to shop@katecolley.com/products/the code. The link is in the chat if you want to just be able to click it. It's going to be a really, really fun ride. And this is something that nobody else in the online space that I can see is sharing. This is the inside information. Okay. After you purchase, and just a quick little thing. After you purchase, there will be an option. You do not have to join, but I just wanted to explain it. There will be an option to join my inner circle for $88. All that means is that for 4 weeks, while we're launching the body language code class, that we will be in the inner circle is a WhatsApp group with me. So you ask me any questions day or night. I won't respond day or night, but I will respond daily, usually in voice message or in text. I will be answering your personal questions. That is available to you if you want to have this be a very personal experience for you, if you want to be able to pick my brain for 4 weeks straight. It's only $88. So you can join that. Okay, cool. Now, let's get back to secret number 4. And I will leave the link. If anyone needs the link, let me know. All right, so secret number 4. The key, the key to staying out of your head is absorbed observation. Treat it like really good sex. And I will speak to that, but I'm going to stop my share so you can see my face. You know, when you're having sex and you're in your head, that's not good sex. That's not the best sex you could be having. This is the same thing in communication when you're getting to know someone, in sales, in body language, in human interaction. I treat it like sex. I take my awareness, the focal point of my awareness, where I shared this with you. It used to be in my head. I used to have a lot of social anxiety, and I literally took it out and I put it outside of me. That's it. You take your awareness and you put it on the other person, but not in a creepy way, in a way where it's like you're watching a movie or you're watching your lover being pleasured and you're like, it's intoxicating. It's amazing. You're so absorbed in it. That's the key to staying out of your head, with curiosity, with playfulness. When you have curiosity and you have playfulness, you're in a state of comfort. This is the easiest way to manage that comfort level. When you're watching it like, wow, I'm getting to know this person. They're telling me about lemon trees. And it's so interesting, right? Whatever the fuck they're talking about. Many people don't talk about lemon trees, but I looked outside and saw my lemon tree. Could be anything. Whatever they're talking about, whatever it is that you notice lights them up, and you notice I always tilt my head when I do it because that's a very almost submissive type of body language where I really am just listening. This is the reason when I work with one-on-one clients, I literally I love them. I fall in love with them because I'm absorbed in them, because I'm watching their body language. I'm watching their face. I'm watching their micro expressions, this amazing work of art. This is how I want you to view other people and yourself. You're this amazing, intricate work of art that you're just decoding and understanding. It's that playful energy that keeps you out of your head. It's the same energy when you're having really good sex. You're not in your head. You're absorbed in the process. You're absorbed in the pleasurable feelings and in the other person. That's it. Those are the 2 things. Pleasure in the other person. Play, fun, joy. You know what this gives you? Presence. Present. This is the most amazing thing we could ask for, is presence. I don't even know if you can even get like how important that is. True presence. Because every time you go up into your head, you've taken presence away. You're not enjoying the experience. You've dropped out of a little bit of comfort. You know, the number one reason why people go up into their head, this is all going to tie together for you, because your limbic system has generated a uncomfortable response and you don't have the fucking tools to deal with it. Now I'm like yelling at you because I'm so passionate about this. You might not have the tools to deal with it. So what's your go-to? Oh, I'm just going to go up into my head. You're not consciously doing this, but that's what happens. You're on that date. Something uncomfortable happens. Whatever it is, it could be minor. You go up into your head. Now you're in a state of discomfort. Now your nervous system is running discomfort, trying to get your attention because it thinks your survival is being like threatened. And you're distancing yourself from that feeling, getting more and more and more and more and more and more and more in your head. And then you wonder why you get ghosted. You wonder why you don't make the sale. You wonder why you're not manifesting what you want in your life, because the thing that you're asking from the universe is paired with a feeling of discomfort in your limbic system that you don't know how to deal with. Presence. When you can bring full presence to another person, there's love. Like you'll be surprised. It's a two-way street. This isn't just that person mirrors you and you're manipulating them and you're hiding. No, when it's real presence and real mirroring and real rapport is happening, it's beautiful and it's mutual. Okay. There's one other, not like a caveat, but I can understand in sales, you're not just going to be like absorbed in the other person. And even in dating, you know, you kind of want to see, you know, who is this person that I'm creating a connection with? You always want to know your outcome. And if you can just pick one outcome, just one, like I want to help this person make a decision, a yes or a no, that feels really good for them. I want to see if this person is a good fit for me romantically. I want to go into this interaction and have the most fucking fun I could possibly have. Pick an outcome, any outcome. Pick one that's in alignment with what you want, that's in integrity for you and the other person. And you hold that outcome, and the rest of it is presence. The rest of it is you treating it like sex. You're absorbed. You're absorbed in the observation of it. You're not worried about your own body language because you can't actually manage your own body language. You can't. There are things you can do, and I've taught it before. You could take up more space. It's confident. But if you're taking up more motherfucking space and you're living your life where your neurology thinks that you're underconfident because your sink is a mess and your bed is unmade and you have debt piled up and you hate your life secretly behind those scenes and da-da-da-da-da. If you're living that life, but you're showing up with confident body language, it's going to be transmitted as a lie. And people will be able to feel that. So don't try to manage your body language. Change your life instead, and then match your body language to this grand version of you that's emerging, that's constantly trying to emerge. That's what your limbic system does, is it gives you perfect information about where you're stuck in that process. So that is what I got for you around sex. I will do a little bit of questions and answers in case you guys want to get into that. Go ahead and click that link, join the body language code if you want to get the inside information about how to really radically up-level your life in all areas. If you want to have fun with human behavior, with people, if you want to take your self-awareness to the literal next level because your body can't hide from you. Okay, I am enrolled in Mastery for Men. What do you advise? Still join. It's a different thing. For those of you that don't know, also a very phenomenal, also a very phenomenal program, Mastery for Men. And it's about the shadow work very specific to men, but it's also about reaching in and lighting up a sense of really deep integritous masculinity. Here's the question. If someone doesn't feel confident inside and feels the effects of that on date, would you advise stopping dating and working on confidence, or I think that's continuing to date and growing confidence through exposure? I would say to do both. You can frame this in this way. So the part of our brain that's very, very human is always going to be putting frames. It's always going to be putting meaning on things. whether you want it to or not. So when you're wanting to change something about your life, you must put a frame, a meaning on that situation that allows you to be in a state of comfort and expansion. Basically, acceptance is what that is. And so here's the frame that I would put on it. Definitely keep dating. And you're using that dating process to activate, to wake up the parts of your limbic system, parts of your emotional body that are stuck. And you're like a detective. Okay. You can put any words you want around this because you got to feel that state of comfort, but you're like a detective. You can go on as many dates as you possibly can because you're going in with this full curiosity of like, I'm going to go on this date with the hottest woman that I could possibly find. And I'm going to see how I do. I'm going to see what my limbic system does. And afterwards, I'm going to journal about it. I'm going to join the body language code. I'm going to get the bonuses and I'm going to unravel that. So I would use it as an activator to figure out where you're stuck and work on it simultaneously because you want the shadow, you want the discomfort to come out so that you can rewire it differently. All right. So what other questions do you guys have? I'm going to put the link again to join the body language code. Join the body language code. Join the body language code. Click the link. Click the link. Click the link. Right now, take the leap or do nothing, but take the leap. Thank you for sharing all of this amazing information. You just signed up. So excited. Have you coached, advised actors or performers? You know what? That's a really good question. And I haven't yet. I have to think about that. Actually, you want to know a fun fact about me? I used to be an actress as a child. I hated it, but I don't know why I even did it. But I was in like Toys R Us commercials and a couple other things. Anyways, it's a fun little fact. What is the time commitment and schedule like for the body language code? Okay, cool. So the time commitment is that I'm going to go live. I'm going to present the information. If you can't make it live for each of the modules and the 2 bonuses, all of that information will be within 24 hours uploaded to your member portal. So all you have to do is log on to the member portal, and then you can watch that information at any time, as many times as you want, and it's lifetime access. So I don't kick you out at any time. You can go back through. And a lot of times people do this with my courses. They tell me all the time, oh, I've gone through it like 3 times, and then they wait a year, and then they go back through it again. And it's like peeling back the layers of the onion. And you just keep going until you get to the center. So each time I go live, so each session will be about an hour to an hour and a half. And then let's see, time commitment and the schedule. I don't have a schedule yet. Once you join, that's in the welcome video. I will be sharing with you what that schedule is. And depending on how many people join, I can put out a survey and see kind of like, are weekends better, are nights better, are mornings better, and I'll get as many people to join live. In the inner circle for $88, if you choose that you have 4 weeks, ask me anything in that group, in that members portal, in a WhatsApp group, and I will respond to all of your questions. Okay. Does your course include more details on how it links to Chinese face reading and spiritual connection? Yes, absolutely. So the bonus in the course, the face reading masterclass, that might be more like a 2-hour masterclass, potentially 2.5 hours. You're going to be able to understand that very, 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 very deeply. And I will be relating it to body language. And then, of course, with everything I do, not just in the body language code, but in my entire life, I live for spiritual connection, literally. So that is an ongoing process that will happen throughout the body language code, because if we're not going for that big connection, then I don't know. For me, it's just like it misses a piece. So yes, very informative. Yay. Okay. Glad you liked it. Awesome. What other questions do you guys have? I'll put in the chat the link again. Yay. Yeah. Let me know if you've signed up. I'm so excited, Catherine. That's awesome. I'm so excited you guys are signing up. This is like, I've launched, I don't know, I think I have like 9 courses now. I think I've never been more excited about this course because it's so different than what anyone else is talking about. I'm obsessed with truth. I'm obsessed with authenticity, and you can't bullshit this information. It either is or it isn't. And you can see into the depths of yourself on such an intimate level that you won't think about life the same way after this course. You just won't. When you go deep within yourself, when you unpack and you go deep, 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 you're able to connect with others deeper. You can only connect to others as deeply as you've connected to yourself. It's really powerful. Okay. Thanks for putting this on. You are so welcome. Thank you for coming. What other questions do you guys have? I'm going to put the link here again. Make sure you join and click the link. When you sign up for the body language code, you will get the very next screen will be like, hey, do you want to join the inner circle? And you either click decline or yes, I want to join. Right after that, the very next page will have your order receipt breakdown. And there's a button at the top that says access now. Click on access now because then you can set up your username and password. Unless you've already bought a course from me, then it'll just show up in your online account. Alyssa, if you miss that access now, it should be in your email. You can check spam and sometimes it ends up there, or check your junk, and it will have an order receipt with, again, that button that says access now. If you didn't get any of those, just email me, kate@katecolley.com, and it will take me 2 seconds. I can do it on the back end. Okay, cool. Yay. Looking forward to it too. So excited, Dustin. Thank you guys. Carl says he signed up. He created the account all in a few clicks. Yes, there are very minimal clicks. It should be pretty easy. Yay, Gabby signed up. So easy. Good. I'm so excited. If you have the extra $88, join the inner circle because that's going to be the best way to get the most out of this. If for whatever reason you don't want to or you can't join the inner circle for $88, feel free to send me an email, just one email at the beginning if there's anything very specifically you want me to touch on in the body language code. Since I'm launching it live, I can show up for those kinds of requests. Okay, cool. You signed up. Yeah, fine. So excited. Good to see you. Oh, this is fun. Oh, hi, Levine. Oh, you love recognizing people. This is fun. You're in. Yay! I'm so glad you're in, or you think you're in, Alyssa. Oh, I love you too. Sure. Do you want to know why I have to be in nature? It's a body language thing. I have to be in nature. I don't have to be in nature. But to function properly, I do. To function properly, I have to be in nature because nature does not lie. People lie. I lie. We all lie. We're people. It's what we do. We don't mean to. It's not always with ill intent. In fact, I do believe that oftentimes it's really, really not with ill intent. But there's something about going in nature and the way that the root system and the things are all designed. It looks chaotic, but there's order to it. And I believe that that is what is true about the way we are wired as well. And the more time I spend in nature, the more I learn about my body because my body is of nature. My body is literally the same thing in some ways as to a tree. You know, it's this, there's a similarity to it. There's a sense of truth that exists inside of my body that I can't get when I talk to other people. That's why I need to go hike all the time and then take videos and post them to Instagram and show you guys I'm hiking again. Hiking is such a meditative. Yeah, it is. You guys excited for the body language code? Thank you everyone so much for coming. Alrighty, guys. Have a beautiful day. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for coming live, for joining me in this information, for committing to your truth. And I'll see you soon in the body language code. Goodbye.